All these workplace safety rules got you feeling down? Is OSHA so far up your behind that they actually give you dental advice? Well, this video is the video for you. Thanks to the wonderful world of Chinese workplace safety violations, we can see what life would be like without all these stupid rules. These safety videos are like gore light, and portray some really horrifying deaths, but it's done in a bright animation style that makes the whole thing seem like a joke. And I'm 99% sure that most of these are based on real life events, and that's why they're super detailed and specific. Anyway, we're going to be watching some and ranking them on a tier list based on how painful / excruciating the deaths are. The tiers are going to go from completely fine, minor injuries, instantaneous death, excruciating death, and dumb excruciating death. I mean, you can kind of tell based on the tiers alone what kind of video this is going to be, but because I love safety, TM, I'm going to be drawing the correct takeaways from each clip so that you don't have to. Let's just get right into it. The first clip I like to call duct tape efficiency. As you can see, we have the victim using a press machine to press metal plates, but it's a little slow for his liking. So, genius that he is, he duct tapes the button down for ultimate efficiency. And I mean, look at him go, he's clearly on a roll now. But there's a slight problem. He was so very close to getting it. If he had stayed consistent and decided to duct tape the foot pedal as well, he would 100% have survived this. So really, the moral of this video is, consistency is key, especially when you decide to be stupid. His coworker manages to get him out, but I'm pretty sure the force of the machine probably already cracked his skull. And given the fact that his legs are no longer moving, it's safe to say that he's not with us anymore. This will be a pretty easy, dumb excruciating tier because the force of the first few crushes may not have killed him instantly, but he definitely died as a result of being dumb. The next clip I have dubbed Metal T-Rex Stanky Leg, which will make sense when we watch the video. So there's this tunnel boring machine that they are likely adding track to, and you have the victim placing a log on top of the tracks for whatever reason. Then he performs one of the weakest stanky legs I've ever seen, and the metal T-Rex, so offended by the lack of coordination, decided to smoosh his skull. His co-worker then screams, "Help, he's turned into a crying emoji." I don't know if this is a common thing in China where out of shame they turn into crying emojis, but if I got taken out the same way that he did, I'd probably shamefully transform into a crying emoji too. Yeah, this guy was here 1 second and gone the next. He got an instantaneous ticket to the afterlife. So yes, he will be put in the instantaneous tier. Maybe this will be a warning to all the viewers out there. If your stanky leg ain't that stanky, you gotta keep it to yourself. This next one I like to call taken out with the trash. And I mean, yeah, it's a pretty shit way to go. I did some loose maths and the weight of the sand on top of him should be around 1 to 2 tons, so he's probably crushed, or at least bleeding very heavily internally, depending on how much of the sand is actually pushing down on him. I'm probably going to put this into the excruciating tier because imagine being picked up and rammed into a huge pile of sand, face first. The takeaway for this clip is, well, maybe just don't work on a job site in China. I mean, glory to the CCP. Workplace accidents are a capitalist myth and you will be sent to a re-education center for disagreeing. Up next is one I like to call Crouching Tiger, Flying Crane. And you'll immediately see why. So yeah, this guy needs a work safety service medal or something. That was some quick thinking. Jumping out of the crane as soon as he noticed that there was a failure in the cables that held up the arm. Had he done a superhero landing and had all the force applied to his knee joints, I might have put him in the minor injuries tier, but he correctly rolled to dissipate the energy, so into the completely fine tier he goes. I give this a 10 out of 10 and so would your local orthopedic surgeon. And the moral for this clip is, be cool as hell and you'll always survive. The next clip I'm calling Pimp My Forklift. Similar to an episode of Pimp My Ride, they managed to make it appear to work better, but in practice, it was functionally dumb. just like the show. Now that I think about it, some of those mods really were stupid, like the hearse that had a casket with a grill inside, or the Gambler Max's dream van that had a slot machine on the side. Anyway, back to the video. That guy is definitely crippled for life, but he might still be alive based on the physics of the coil sliding away. But we don't really have a major injuries tier, so I'm just going to put him in the minor injuries because he would at minimum have minor injuries after that. Takeaway for this clip is that you leave forklifting to the forklift professionals. Those of us who are forklift certified, can I get an amen? Amen. Up next is what I have dubbed 2 PM job site, because it's something you'll often see on a job site at 2 PM. 3 people actually working with 3 people just supervising, and no, the idiot with the broom does not count as working. I don't even know what they did wrong, to be fair here. Maybe they didn't install the sidewall braces correctly, but only 2 got hit, one of the guys watching and the guy in red. What this clip teaches us is 2 things. 1, that if you're going to be useless, at least stay out of the way, and 2, don't be the hardest worker in the room, otherwise you'll likely be crushed by the ceiling caving in. I'll put it in the minor injuries tier because it's kinda hard to tell how heavy the rocks were that fell, and they are wearing helmets, so it likely protected a lot of the potential damage. This next video is actually a display of the superior tech of the Chinese Communist Party. Now, your Americanized mind might think that this was simply a workplace fatality, but no. The crane's lifting hook was a loyal comrade to the CCP and detected an alien life form on the site, and doing what it needed to do, got rid of the alien imposter. I mean, just look at that filthy green life juice. Real comrades of the CCP only bleed communist red. So this will be going into the completely fine tier because all the loyal citizens were completely fine. The name of the clip is also classified, and that's why I can't share it with you. This next video might be a part 2 to the Metal T-Rex Stanky Leg video, as in this video we have another victim, frustrated by the lack of progress, spontaneously bust out a stanky leg. This time, however, the vibrations caused by the stanky leg was so powerful that it actually managed to dislodge the blockage. See folks, this is what you can achieve when you actually put effort into something. Now the victim does actually fall into the rubble pit and is probably knocked out by the continuous pile of rocks hitting him in the face, but you can rest easy knowing that production is back on track and the People's Construction Project will be completed on time. I'm going to put this into the excruciating tier because he's just repeatedly getting hit in the face by rocks, and eventually he probably dies because of it. Moral of this clip is that with great power comes great responsibility. You can't be throwing stanky legs like that so carelessly. Now this next clip is called the Wile E. Coyote, and I'll give you a couple seconds to guess as to why that is. Surely at least one of these idiots could have put 2 and 2 together that if you're going to be cutting a surface to make it fall from a high structure, it's probably best to not be standing on top of that same surface. I'd say that they're at least 6 stories high, so they're all probably not making it unless they can somehow land on top of another idiot. But the mental deficiency needed to actually die because of this puts this into the dumb, excruciating tier. Takeaway from this video is, have an IQ above 70 before stepping on a job site. Okay, this next one I actually like to call the insurance deal, and it'll make sense when we watch the clip. Hey there, I've been trying to reach out to you about your car's extended warranty. Well, you see, with just 15, the length some of these insurance companies will go to secure a deal is actually inspiring. You might think crashing through the top window of a warehouse onto a customer's car is a step too far, but I disagree. I mean, just look at the face of excitement on the lady knowing she could save hundreds per year on her car insurance. I believe that any salesman willing to do a backflip from a second-story window and nearly break their neck deserves at least a few minutes of my time. I'll probably say no to whatever shit they're selling, but I can respect the effort. Takeaway from this is go hard or go home. And this is going into the completely fine tier because business practices like these, in my mind at least, are completely fine. This next video, called Weak Seal, comes from the Communist Party's very own explosion in a barrel company. You see, the gimmick is that they managed to contain an explosion in a barrel by welding it inside. The only issue is that, like in this video, they incorrectly sealed the lid and the explosion managed to get out. I've actually ordered a few of these for reasons, and I'm hoping that my order isn't botched like this one. The worker in this video probably had his face blown off and is in excruciating pain, so I'll put him in that tier. And there really isn't a takeaway for this clip, other than source your exploding barrels from reputable dealers, lest you also meet this most pernicious fate. Our final clip actually has 2 positions on our tier list, and it's for different reasons. Firstly, the clip is called Bad Back Hotbox, and in it we have 2 workers pick up a metal sewer lid with the worst form I have ever seen. Just look at those backs. I give it another 5 years before they give out and they're walking around in pain, all because they didn't know that it's all in the knees. And for that, I'll be putting them in the minor injuries tier. The second part of the video is where one of them goes into the sewer and turns the valve, releasing highly concentrated nicotine vapors that immediately kill him. The dangers of vaping are all too real. His co-worker, now with mild nicotine withdrawals, enters the hotbox and also succumbs to that same fate. An instantaneous, vape-related death. All too common in the People's Republic. Moral of this clip is that vaping is for losers, because it always leads to sewer hotbox related deaths. That's all we have for today's video on Chinese safety videos. If you learned a little something about safety today, then like and subscribe. But other than that, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.